Hello there, my lovely Legionnaires. You know that I'm a purveyor of month-long challenges from my mermaid video, and I like to have something to work on when I wake up. Just something to warm up with, have something to draw without thinking too hard. It's nice to be able to have a prompt, have an idea, just something to wake up and start the brain fresh. I know that my propensity towards them is something that a lot of you are shocked by. I get a lot of comments of how the fuck do you do this every single time? But as long as nothing interrupts the actual time, I do it, like routine. It's why I decided I was going to do 3 more this year, and here's number 2, Goretober. Every day in October, I drew a piece themed around one of these 31 prompts put up by Crisis Arts. I wanted to practice some of my horror art, and quite honestly, I feel like I flopped this one. I really like the pieces I made, I just don't really feel like they quite accomplished the prompt. That's gonna be the word of the room. Not quite. Well, without too much more bitching, let's get started. So day 1 was teeth. Thought I'd try and draw a gross vampire mouth, seeing as how I like more monstrous vampires, and I picked to draw Jake. Jacob Blackburn is a character in a comic series that I have rattling around the old dome called Splatterhouse. You'll see a couple of Splatterhouse characters throughout this. He's meant to be sort of more of a bat properly, so I wanted to try and illustrate kind of a bat mouth. And I wanted something sort of like how when dogs snarl, their mouths protrude just a little bit, you know? And I liked the notion of making their faces a little more animalistic. And I think I fucked it up. His mouth looks more like a snake than a bat. The blood pouring down his neck looks wrong. Blah. I like the rest of the piece. The spit's good, but... bruh. It just wasn't quite what I wanted. There's an excuse to draw Jake more, so more Jake. Day 2 was Candy Gore. Couldn't find a single fucking reference that made what this was make sense. It and Neon Gore seemed interchangeable. There was nothing that clicked for me. So I drew Rosa made out of gum? I don't know. Rosa's a D&D character of mine. She's a satyr bard, actually. I haven't gotten to play her yet, and she's a real cutie. I thought she would fit really well, being kind of pink and fluffy and gooey and stretchy, but I don't hate it. I felt a little bad, because she's such a sweetheart, not really a violent person, so hacking her into pieces wasn't top of my mind. I don't know. I don't hate this one, especially how fluffy it is. I think the gore doesn't look too bad on this one either, but it's one of the better ones. There's just things I'd change. Day 3 was Nosebed, and this is the heavyweight wrestling champion of the Underdark, the queen of mean herself, our girl Isolde! I played her in a 2-shot of... oh god. I'm recording this part off the cuff, I don't remember. The editor, Brooke, what's the snow one? The one with the owlbear on the cover, the snow one, I don't remember, it was that one. She suplexed a yeti, it was real cool, I like her a lot. This particular challenge was great for letting me draw a shit ton of my OCs that you guys don't get to see that often, so I liked this one. It's one of the ones that read the prompt the best, and the blood looks really good. I loved her cocky shitheel pose, her little cheeky grin. She fucking rules. I picture she got elbowed directly in the nose and is about ready to run your fucking shit. Man, I need to draw her more. I think her body types are really cool and really fun to draw. Day 4 was Mutant. I was fucking stoked for this one. I didn't get to draw much of the Argento family since I don't get to exactly talk too much about my D&D setting all that much. This is Bartok. He's implanted with a shit ton of slotty control gems, which basically means he's having magic from the Chaos Plane channeled directly into his brain at least 12 times over, completely scrambling his brains all the fucking time, and slowly turning him into a horrible frog monster. It's really fun and good for him. He loves it. It's going great. It's going great. The whole Argento family is really into the aberrations, and by into, I mean their mom is, and their mom's a freak. I love how deeply fucked and gross their family is. The baby deserves better. I liked drawing him screaming his head off. I liked drawing the protruding teeth from the bottom of his jaw. I think it really came across really well. The pose came out great. Day 5 was Autopsy. Completely fucking killed this composition. I decided to draw Artorias. This is my reborn warlock. Those of you in the audience who don't know the D&D lingo, means he's basically a zombie. He's a really fancy zombie. He was brought back to life with a magic cane stuck in his chest, so he's a Hexblood warlock, or Hexblade warlock, Jesus. I wanted to draw him with his Y-front scar open, and it did get a little lost in the composition, because I did want to draw the outfit. In the end, I think I'd use a different technique to make his meat a little meatier, and then, like, adjust the outfit so it reads a little better. But I really like it. I like the way it turned out. The only other drawback in this angle is it makes him look really wide, when in reality, he is a stick. He is a stick. There is, like, no meat on this boy's bones. I'm a moron and bad. Don't look at me like that. Day 6 was eyes. And I thought about drawing myself for a little bit, but given that it's Goretober, and my eyes aren't particularly gory, they're kind of just floating, I thought I would draw more of the Argento family. So here's Marie Argento. Her mother transplanted her with a pair of beholder eyes, and now she's slowly turning into a beholder, because beholders reproduce asexually in their dreams, and her body doesn't have the capability for it, so she just keeps basically subsuming every new beholder she tries to give birth to, and is kind of losing her mind. It's really great. I want to draw her more. I don't know, maybe I will. I love how the composition came out. I drew her during my commentary about the commentary community. I wanted to focus on the eyes, and I found a really great pose for it, and it came out really good. I really liked it. It really, like, emphasized everything the way I wanted it to. I'm glad for how her hands turned out. I need to do more with the eye stalk twin braids, since I don't think the design is as readable as I'd like. I think there's a couple of changes I just need to make it read a little better. That's for later. First week wrapped up with Gut Spill. Knew immediately I wanted to draw Bunny for this one, but I ended up tossing out like 2 other poses before I got here. I wanted her to be kneeling over you with your guts in her hands at first, but I couldn't finagle it into a way that wasn't weirdly sexual and, like, yeah, she's supposed to be a serial killer. This is another Splatterhouse character, by the way. She is a serial killer, but she's 16, and I didn't like how weirdly horny the poses were turning out. It made me really uncomfortable, and I just don't want to characterize her that way, so I went with this instead. This was cool, though. They're a little long, and they're way too thick, but in the end, I think it mostly came across. I think I should have bloodied her up more. I've got to stop trashing on these. It's gonna be a lot of that. It's gonna be a lot of complaining, and I'm preemptively very sorry about that. Day 8 was Crystal. This was another one where I knew exactly who I was drawing. I had to draw Father Stone. I've been playing him in a personal game that you will never see, called Wild Wild West for, Brooke, you're the dungeon master. How long have we been playing Wild Wild West? Put the time up on screen. Put the date up on screen. Cool. Thank you. It's very nice. He's a trickster paladin, which means he's Oath of Treachery. He follows the Traveler. I love him so much. And I knew this one was going to be lightning, and I was like, this one will be lightning fast! I'm just gonna refine an old sketch of Father Stone's scar, because I just really liked the original pose, so I'll refine it, I'll line it, it'll be fine. And then just lining it took almost an hour and a half. I think I can finally say how I figured out how to make his turquoise look right. The cracks fuck me up, but I'm getting better at them every time. This time I just have to figure out how to simplify them, that's all. Look at his rock-solid tits. Look at his big titties. Big titties. Day 9 was poisoned, and I don't know how to draw that. I was thinking about drawing someone sick, but a fun fact about me is that I'm emetophobic. I cannot deal with puke or imagery of something being shoved down or up a throat. So that kind of imagery was out, and I just, I had to change Day 20's prompt anyway. You'll see that when we get there. But instead, I drew Bakar, my lovely brass dragon culinary king eating a poisoned apple. I just hit my desk. Fuck. He's immune to poison. So he can chomp away at it all he wants. I put the green spit to, like, show that it was poison. I don't know. Fucking... Also, I love how I keep finding out that I've curated fellow lovers of hot old men. I'm glad to know that I've surrounded myself with people with taste. I'm glad that that's my brand now. Day 10 was Hanah disease. For those of you who don't know the lore, Hanah is a fan fiction thing where you cough up flowers when you're in unrequited love. I think it originated from a K-pop music video. That's what I keep being told by the internet. I'm not sure. This is not a research video, but I think that's it. I like it. I think it's dramatic and it's elegant, and the fangirls love that shit. They eat it right the fuck up. Me, I'm fangirls. I love this trope. I think it's gruesome, but, like, still a beautiful metaphor for the pain you feel when the person you adore has no return feelings. I think. I wouldn't know. Aromantic, awkward laughter. So naturally I drew Louis. Louis's an archfey. He's a rose boy, given that his relationship started with enemies to lovers, and I thought that because he's a rose-based fey creature, I thought it was perfect, and I love him. Have the sad man before his big werewolf decided to man up and actually date him. Day 11 was insects, which was great. It was a perfect opportunity to draw Hazel. So she's a character I've played in a one-shot. I don't remember if Crafty streamed it or not, but it was a one-shot I played with Crafty. She's a Thrycreen, which is a relatively new race. I played her when there was still only homebrew, so she's a moth. She is a Swarmkeeper Ranger, so she keeps wasps. And originally I was going to draw her covered in the wasps, but I was too enamored with the focus being on the wasp nest built into the human skull, so I wanted that to be the focal point, and I liked that, and I think I should have included them anyway, because I think it would have read a little better. But I'm happy with it ultimately. I think there's only a couple little details I'd change next time. I love her tiny little hands. I have to draw her again soon. She was really fun to draw. Round and sweet. Better time for her than highlighting how spooky she is. I liked it. Day 12 was bruises. I had to fumble around to find someone before I remembered that I had Dalkara! I haven't played Kara in a very long time. I used to play her in a game at a local card shop. She is a zealot barbarian. She has seen the face of God. It was wild. But drawing all of her tattoos at this angle was a pain in the ass. And I don't like her hair turned out. I think her face is at a weird angle. I think this is up top some of the biggest flops overall. It's not as good as I wanted it to be, and I feel like a lot of the detail I wanted is totally lost. This is the downside of doing these daily challenges. I end up with a few finished pieces that aren't up to par. I kind of have to be okay with that. It helps me alleviate my stress about mistakes to just post them. As one of my regulars in chat said, it doesn't have to be good, it just kind of has to be done. Day 13 was Stitches, and ironically, this is one of my favorites. Doing a waist-ups only kind of bites me for quite a few of these, but I loved this one. I punched my desk again. I just feel like it all turned out clean and really highlights how piecemeal Adam's body is. I was a little worried with the monochrome that him being a Frankenstein's monster wouldn't, like, properly come through. I was worried that his skin tones weren't different enough, but they were, and it turned out really great. I feel like it all turned out clean, and I'm proud of it. It's one of the few times I feel like the discomfort in his body is all there. Even though there's no, like, visual blood, I really liked that. I can't really illustrate one of the most important things about him, which is that his limbs are different lengths. I've been trying to find a pose that really exacerbates that. I don't think I did it here. But that could also just be something I'm not particularly skilled for. I need to stop hitting the bottom of my desk. I don't know what's going on. I also think the text is a little distracting, but I can fix that. I can fix that next time. Day 14 was Parasite. This one is one of my favorites. It's fucking gross. I made Bartok squishy and shiny and disgusting. Bartok is the final Argento sibling. He's full of Mind Flayer tadpoles. I think I said in him there's like 5, maybe 6 now. For those of you who've played Baldur's Gate, it's just tons of them. He's full of them. Because he has Warlock blood, they aren't actively turning him just yet, but they will soon. And he's hearing the hive mind already, which is super great for him. Love hearing like a cacophony of voices all in unison at all times of the day. It's super poggers and great. The human mind was totally meant to be able to withstand these things. I love the tadpoles under his skin, the way that the pose really makes it all press in on the same side. Immaculate. One of the few that actually feels gross. I think I'm a moron. That's possible. Day 15 was fungi. Haven't gotten to draw Rudy in a hot minute either. Wanted to show the drawbacks of being a spores druid. So he was cursed. He specifically has a curse. He was originally an Eladrin. He's become part tree. It's a long story. We're not talking about all of his backstory in this video. But now he's cursed. Every time his curse acts up, he grows a bunch of mushrooms on his body. And this is another one where all I can see are flaws, god damn it. This was ultimately meant to be a challenge to get better at these things. I do feel like I'm getting better, but like not in a way that I'm satisfied with. I feel like my art's a little too clean for this kind of stuff. I have to practice. It's practice that makes perfect, allegedly. I just don't like, they don't really feel like they're growing out of him so much. I think it's partly the perspective and the shape of like where the things are protruding. I think I can fix it with like another pass or another draft. But again, because these are daily, I kind of just gotta do it. I just gotta fucking do it, you know? Day 16 was hooks, and it's the first day I really backed up and thought, I just didn't follow the prompt at all. There's no gore, there's no blood. Even though I thought the idea was cool, but it ended up being weak sauce. I think I could have pushed it, but I don't like characters who deserve it, and Meg, who you may know from my streams is my One Piece fan character, just kind of didn't. And so I pulled a bunch of punches because I really didn't want to hurt her, and I can feel it. I can feel that I did it. I think next year I really need to make a dedicated character so I don't get so emotionally hung up on it. I think it's the autistic hyper empathy in me. I look at it and I'm like, oh, I can't hurt her. She's my favorite. Blah. I like how the piece turned out. Like, it looks good, the composition's cool, the pose is cool, the message behind it is cool, but like, it's the weakest one. It could have been one of the nastiest. And I feel like I didn't push it enough. Day 17 was plant growth. I pushed back into the gross imagery of vines crawling under skin. I thought I could have gone deeper with this one, especially since I really like green horror. It and snow-based horror feel like the most underutilized themes in the whole genre. Looking back on it, I could have done more with this one too, especially because this is Odoron. His shit is that he's also cursed, and I feel like I could have really implemented the horror, the violent destruction of his body as he succumbs to the devil king of nature and slowly becomes more and more a monster at one with nature, especially because going feral is kind of his thing. I could have, but I didn't, because again, I love Odoron too much, and I just didn't want to hurt him, and I think I'm a pussy, and I think that's it. But I can't keep kicking my own ass. There's nothing I can do about it. Next time. Day 18 was Cannibalism, and I was so excited to get to draw Donner Frost. The Frost family is gross and disgusting, and I hate them. I love them so much. I love this character, mainly because I love a lame little pissant being brainwashed into committing terrible atrocities. I think this is some of the blessed blood. Yeah, the best blood I've drawn so far this month. I really love how it turned out. His expression's good. I think I need better mood board references next year. I think her fingers could have come across a little more solid. That and the fact that her fingernails are removed doesn't really come across. Her severed wrist is a little clean. I'm doing it again. I'm looking at it and thinking of all the things I could have improved on. But like, that's what this was for. This was for improvement. But, so I'm going to be a little harder on myself. I'm going to critique it a little harder than I normally would. But I like it. I think it's good. I think I just need better references, I think is one of the things I'm gathering. Day 19 was Bites! I love how this one came out. So this is Lucas. He's another personal favorite of mine, another Splatterhouse character. So he's a werewolf, and I thought it would be better to show that he's been in a fight and came out the victor. So he got bitten, and he did the biting. It's why I put the blood on his mouth. Again, I'm just seeing all the ways I failed. in this one, and I need to be not so mean to myself. I'm starting to think that maybe I should do these in black and white next year, so I can really establish, like, better fundamentals. It's also this mix of blending realism and, like, stuff into my normally, like, really highly illustrated style. I feel like I need to find better stylization references. I need to look at more stuff from, like, Pumpkin Night and Tokyo Ghoul, maybe. Like, because everybody's like, oh, look at, like, realistic references, but, like, if you're stylizing something to this point, it's better to look at how someone else stylizes it so you can get a better grasp on what you're doing, because I feel like I'm just fucking it all up. So day 20 was supposed to be Vomit, but as previously said, wasn't gonna do that, so I went with Rip. I don't really want all of these to be complaining. I really don't. I keep trying. But again, I feel like I didn't accomplish what I set out for. I've always liked the feeling of Glasgow smiles, and so I wanted to do it with showing my Jujutsu Kaisen character, Koji, getting the scars that he has on his face that I draw quite frequently, but I never feel like I've drawn it to my own satisfaction. It always feels wrong and cartoony. I feel like I'm drawing, like, 2012 Jeff the Killer fan art every time. It doesn't feel, like, satisfyingly painful or gruesome the way that it should. Maybe they're not big enough. Maybe they're the wrong shape. I don't know. It's not enough teeth. I don't know. I think it's stylization over realism, and I just haven't found the correct way to blend that just yet. I need to find better references. It just keeps all boiling back down to I need better references. Day 20 was Lacerations. 21 was Lacerations. Fuck. I wanted to draw Akari getting her scar. Akari is a character I play in another private game with Brooke, but Justin's the DM on that one. That's the longest running campaign I've ever been in. Once again, Brooke, please put up on the screen. Tell them how long we've been playing Elemental Wars, because I don't remember. It's been a long time. It's been a really long time, but I don't remember how long. Please tell them, because I forgot. I wanted to draw her getting the scar, and I like how it turned out overall. I don't know how to get the ice burns across because she was smited when she did it. But since the focus was more on the slash, I cheated by not trying. The only thing I'd change is I'd make the pose a little more active. I wanted her to be intimidated, but it could have popped more. I have to stop complaining. Moving on. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Day 22 was Silver Platter, and this one is my favorite. It's one of my favorites anyway. I only have one complaint, and it's that there's not enough blood. I think I should have made a proper pool of blood underneath Kiki's head. I think it would have really, like, read better. But I think it sells the horror of poor Kiki's life. So Kiki is Kiki Frost. This is Donner's daughter, the one from day 18. She is the one that he's eating in day 18. It's a long story. The two of them were based on the song Gomene Gomene by Kikuo, for those of you who are familiar, those of you who are Vocaloid heads like me. I want to talk about them properly. I don't know, I keep wanting to make lore videos and I don't, but that's not what we're talking about! It's not relevant! Fuck! It was gonna be her own hands holding up her head, but I lost the decapitation element, so I went with disembodied ones. I love her anxious expression, her dirty bandages. So good. Everything really came across really well. I really like her. Day 23 was Impaled. God, Shizuki got stabbed so much during Waterdeep. So this is the rogue that I played during Waterdeep Dragon Heist, once again with Brooke and Justin. That one we've completed though. It was great. I love Waterdeep Dragon Heist, and I didn't love how often I got stabbed. I got stabbed so often. This one in particular was a little more metaphorical, considering Jarlaxle never got him in the throat. But I get to be artsy. I get to work with metaphor. You can't tell me what to do. Shut the fuck up. I was worried about the blood on the impact. I thought that was wrong, and I still think it's wrong, but all of the references I saw, the blood only sprays on exit, not on entry. It'll bleed slowly on entry afterwards. So it's right. I just keep looking at it and thinking it's wrong. I'm really proud of how I drew the rapier itself. I think there's not enough motion in it, so that's the main thing I'll change next time, but mostly I really like this one.
Day 24 is Amputation, and I've lied. I've lied to you. I've lied to you so hard. This is my favorite one. This is the best one. This is the best one I've ever done. This is the best I've ever drawn Ulrich's scars and his arm, and Ulrich as a whole, really. I don't draw Ulrich very much. He is an artificer that I'm currently playing in Curse of Strahd with Brooke and Justin. Yeah. And he was burned by a dragon with dragon acid because he fought a black dragon and lost. So that's why he looks like that. That's where he lost his arm. It was specifically an amputation because he didn't get it bitten off. It had to be amputated because of all the damage that was done to it. And I always feel like I don't get the meat part on the severed limbs right. I think I need to go to anime route and just make them bloody stumps for a while. I don't know. I think it really sells the violence of Ulrich's injuries and really highlighted the length of how he was maimed. I love him so much. This is gonna be the reference I do back to king shit. I finally did something right. I don't feel like I fucked it all up for once. Day 25 was Bones! And a ton of people throughout the whole time were asking where Rachel was, considering her powers revolve entirely around body horror. And I was waiting for this one. And thanks to playing Slay the Princess the day before, I thought I'd try my hand at like a little degloving action while we were at it. I think it came across pretty well. I wanted to draw the way that she changes her body via warping her skeleton originally, but I don't know how the fuck I would illustrate that. I bet it's gonna be gross and look a lot more painful than it actually is for her, because that's the point, but I don't know how to illustrate that. So I just went with her skin splitting so that you could see her big scary bird talons that she grows for grabbing things. I also liked making her horns dark, and I like the way I did her mask. I think the forearm burns are a little off perspective-wise. I can fix that next time, though. I'm toying with keeping her horns black. I don't know. We'll see. Day 26 was Puppet. More meta 4. Haven't drawn Ray in a really long time. Some of you probably on this channel don't even know who the fuck this is. This is Ray Baker. I played him in a game that was streamed for a little while over on Boonslayer's channel called Ard Mendaleo. I love him. He's great. He's a demigod now. It's really cool. He seals monsters in gemstones in his free time. I'm happy. But I haven't drawn him in a long time, and about 75% of his original story revolves around the fact that he's afraid he's a puppet for his father, being dragged into doing things against his will. So I liked the idea of giving him puppet strings sunk into the palms of his hands. And I wanted to give off the vibe that even if he's doing what he wants, he's being manipulated. And I think I did that. I love how the change in my art style has affected him. He's so handsome. He's become totally different. I'm so proud. I did make him too wide. Fuck! Day 27 was Glitch! This one is one of my favorites conceptually. So this is Curator. She is a warforged wild magic sorcerer. The runes covering her body were engraved into her by the warlock that made her. So every time she casts a spell, when her magic goes wild, it causes all of the runes to activate and bad things happen. I love that I really got to lean into how terrifying that is, how flying out of control would scare her. And I think I've really nailed down her design. I've drawn her like a dozen times, and she never has the same design from drawing to drawing, but I think this is it. I think I found something that's really satisfying. And I don't get to draw her enough. She's terrifying and terrified, and I think I really got to capture that this time. I need to draw her more. She's just really fun to draw. Day 28 was Neon Gore, and it's the worst one I did all month. I hate this one. I don't know. I think the monochrome style I was doing with these was not gonna help me, given that, like, all Neon Gore is really loud and, like, expressive and vibrant, and I was doing monochrome shit all month. So doing a single character didn't help. The spatters of color look wrong. Overall, it's just awful. It's muddy and gross, and I'm not gonna dwell on it. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. Day 29 was Pins. Love the doll maker. She is the villain of a D&D campaign that I've written. I love the doll maker. Haven't gotten to draw her in a really long time. God, my ability to draw this kind of character has gotten better. Fuck! She used to look bad. I was so embarrassed having to pull up her reference on stream, because fuck, her art's old. She's got so much creepier than last time I drew her. So she's modeled off of, like, the creepy Japanese ball-jointed dolls. So I liked the idea that the string that's, like, stringing her limbs together that's allowing her to move is what she's manipulating to, like, sew other motherfuckers to motherfuckers. And I love that. I think I should have put some more cracks in the porcelain of her body, given that the needles were wedged in, but I didn't want to. I thought she'd be too clean that way, and I need to draw her more. I have this, like, constant fixation as sewing as horror. It's so good. I hope we'll get to show her off more. Drawing her was fun. Day 30 was Undead. Since I drew Artorias for Autopsy, thought I'd draw his sister for Undead. I love Vena's design. She's so good. She's so pretty, and I think that despite the fact that she's fucking insane, she's always really fun to draw. She died a little older than Artorias did, and she's also a thing called a Revenant, which means that she is also a magic zombie, but she's evil. She's trying to she's trying to kill the person who killed her and who destroyed her family, but, like, in fairness, her family sucks, and they deserved it. All of them, except for, like, a handful of people in the Lenore family, are kind of the fucking worst. So they deserved it. They should have died. So what she's doing is not good. But it's fine. It's fine. I think I really need to emphasize her body shape more. I think unless you knew she was a Revenant, it really doesn't come across. Maybe I need to give her more visible wounds, make her a little thinner. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I need to draw her more anyway. I need to draw all of my OCs more, so... And day 31, our final day, was Decapitation. I knew I wanted a little alas poor Yorick moment, so I thought I'd grab Nevermore for that. He's another Warforged, as you can tell. He is my creepy little Catholic priest Five Nights at Freddy's animatronic. He was built to be a... oh my god. Grave Cleric? No. No, he's a Death Cleric. That's it. He's a Death Cleric. The one that's, Brooke, you're smart. The one on screen. The one that's, like, better for fighting the undead. I don't remember in these moments. I think it's the Death Cleric, not the Grave one. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm dumb. Who knows? Anyway. I play Dungeons and Dragons all the time. I know what I'm doing. Shut up! But I knew I wanted to have him hold his own head. He's a really simple design, so I actually finished him really quick, which was really surprising for me. I thought it would take a lot longer to draw him. He's so fun to draw. My spooky little animatronic. I like the idea of his main cable being like the spinal cord inside of his metal spine. Since he was built by a family of necromancers, I like the idea that his construction is inherently very corpsey, very spooky, very bad, gross. He's probably monologuing, though. It feels very in character. He would be the kind of person who would take off his own head to do a little, alas, poor Yorick. I knew him. At the slightest provocation. But he's done. He's done. We're done! And that's it. All 31 days. I feel like overall I didn't really do the best on this challenge, but I know what I have to improve on now. I need to make a character especially for this so that I don't hold back. I need better references, I need more practice. Part of me didn't even want to upload this given how negative I was on my own artwork, but I decided against it. Mainly because I think it's good to show that you don't have to make masterpieces when you do these daily challenges. They don't need to be perfect, they just need to be done. I do them for practice and for routine, and you can do them for the same reason. Even if you hate every one of your 31 pieces, you've gained some discipline and some practice. You don't lose anything giving these a shot. You only stand to gain. Next month, I'll be showing you my Huevember pieces, since I've still not gotten tired of doing my dailies, and as of where I am as of recording, I really like all the pieces I've made. For now, you can check out my other art challenges, the VODs of all the Goretober pieces, my editors, my socials, and the finished pieces themselves, all in the description down below. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!